Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2001 horror remake 13 Ghosts. The film is directed by Steve Beck and it stars Tony Shalhoub, Shannon Elizabeth, Embeth Davids, Matthew Lillard, J.R. Bourne, and of F. Mary Abraham. Right, okay. The film follows a family. We've got Tony Shalhoub as Arthur, who's the father. You've got Shannon Elizabeth as his daughter, and he's also got a young son. Now, he lost his wife a while ago, which has affected the family really, really badly. But he is given an invitation by what he thinks is his dead uncle, played by F. Mary Abraham. And it's basically an offer of a house, or wanting a once in a lifetime opportunity to have this house that he's left him in his will. So the family's on, need something to perk them up. They need something in their life after what's happened. So they go and see the house. It's absolutely marvelous. It is one of a kind as it is described. However, the reason it's one of a kind is that there's 12 ghosts locked up downstairs in the cellar, and they have actually been lured there under false premises in order to essentially trap and release a 13th ghost that will then unleash the true power and potential of the house. Right, what are my thoughts on 13 Ghosts? Well, this is another of my remake reviews. It's another one of my film series that I kind of focus on. Most of the remakes that I've done at the minute have been like slasher films for the most part. But then I remembered this one. Now, I remember going to see this one. I'm sure I went to see this one at the cinema, and I quite enjoyed this at the cinema. But I do remember at the time it was fairly poorly received. Which it surprised me at the time because I thought it was entertaining enough, and it still kind of surprised me now a little bit. I've got a bit of a soft spot for this film, I'm not going to lie. I think there are aspects of it that are obviously ridiculous. I mean, the house itself, everybody's wandering around this house saying how wondrous and fabulous it is, when you wouldn't even be able to take a dump in this house because it's all glass. It's got glass windows everywhere. It's the maddest thing you'll ever see. I mean, incredible, production design and all this kind of stuff. And, it is a marvel to look at and everything, but who'd want to live in it? Nobody. I mean, there's scribbling and writing all over the walls, and, show me the kitchen. Let me have a look at the oven. What are the shower facilities like? I'm not really. It's to me, it's just a bizarre concept of a house that an ordinary family would take one look at and say to the lawyer, "I'm off back to my apartment. Put it on the market for me, will you?" So, I mean, you'd have to suspend your disbelief a little bit here. But what kind of once the film gets going, you've got Matthew Lillard's character, who is like a medium, I suppose. And he's there at the house initially to try and get some money that's owed to him by the F. Mary Abraham's character, Cyrus. But he soon kind of unwillingly kind of ends up helping this family, because you've got the father and the two kids in the house, plus their housekeeper. And he knows they're in mortal danger. So even though they don't believe him initially, I mean, conveniently, there's these glasses that you can put on that will magically let you see these ghosts. And I think for me, the strongest part of this film is the ghost design. Very, very creative, very interesting, and pretty damn freaky at times as well, it has to be said. They just... for me, I think if they'd have made this one, really pushed the boat out and turned up the horror and the terror, I think they probably would have been onto something here. Because some of the designs of the ghosts, they're almost Hellraiser in their designs. You almost expect Pinhead to come out of one of these rooms as one of these trapped ghosts. Very, very creative designs, and they really do their job and freak you out. And some of the scenes where they're attacking them, and like scratching the faces are like ferocious and animalistic. It does its job. The attempts in the film at humour is very, very 2001. It falls flat every time. So you've got Matthew Lillard occasionally dropping a one-liner. And he kind of gets away with it because it's Matthew Lillard and it's part of his personality, I suppose. But then you've got the housekeeper dropping one-liners, and it's so of the time, and it's so outdated, and it's so not funny. It just doesn't help the film, in my opinion. It tonally, it just wrecks it every time someone comes out with a one-liner. I think Tony Shalhoub is a fine actor. We know he's a fine actor. But I don't know. I just didn't buy him as like the lead in the film. I didn't feel as though he was. I don't know if charismatic's the right word. I mean, don't get me wrong. You are invested in the film and the characters, and I didn't dislike his character. But I feel like they probably could have, maybe cast someone a little bit more. I don't know. Prominent in the role, maybe. I don't know if that's the right way. So I mean, there are definitely aspects of this film that are of the time, for sure. But I do think there are aspects of this film that were a missed opportunity. I think if they'd have dialed up the horror and really gone to town, on these ghosts and the attacks and a few other bits and pieces, I think it would have worked a lot better. And the whole, part of the film with F. Mary Abraham's character, who, and I'm going to spoil some bits here. I mean, the film is well over 20 years old, so don't shoot me. F. Mary Abraham's character, who is, surprise, surprise, not dead at all. I mean, it's so damn obvious. And this lady that turns up, who they think is helping her, in actual fact isn't helping them at all. She's on Cyrus's side, which it's so obvious as well. The film doesn't really even attempt to do anything smart or clever with any of the characters. I think the main part that the film absolutely gets right is the ghosts, the design of the ghosts. Every time the ghosts in the scene, it's pretty damn freaky. Apart from some of the flashes that they do here and there, and some of the like quick editing and flashing about, it's a bit painful to watch at times. So I think if they'd have made some minor adjustments, this would have been a far better film. However, saying that, I'm still giving it a 7 out of 10 because I've got a soft spot for it. I do think it, for the most part, what it tries to do, it gets quite a bit of it right. And it's a fun watch for sure. There are some really fun and inventive deaths and kills in the film. But it also, if you like, leans a little bit too far into the family-friendly stuff as well. So if you've never seen 13 Ghosts, give it a go. It may well surprise you. I have to be honest, I've never seen the 1960 version of this. I suspect they are vastly different in a lot of ways. But I will be interested to check it out. Let me know if you've seen the original, what your thoughts on it. And I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.